Good morning. I had already said that part of this channel was going to be related to the vegan and raw food diets. I have not posted much about that yet, or anything. I'm trying to recall. Just a recipe video, I think. But the reason for that is I have been trying to sort out my own personal health when it comes to my diet. I'm going to be posting more videos about mainly the raw vegan diet and maybe some other recipes. Baby's in the background if you can't hear. Since I'm going to be posting further videos, I wanted to first do an introductory video about where I'm at now so that when things change, I can update you and, we can see how my personal diet is going. First of all, I started a vegan diet, it was about 4 years ago. And I didn't really start vegetarian first. I just kind of jumped right to vegan, and within, I can't really remember, but I think it was like the same month, maybe week, I don't know. I really just jumped right into raw. I followed 80-10-10 from the beginning, or at least the principles of a raw vegan diet. And I realize now, years later, that I was making some really detrimental mistakes. And that's kind of what I wanted to share today. All I know is that as soon as I started a vegan diet, my weight went up to, some of the highest it's ever been. I'm talking, let's see, when I started a vegan diet, I was, I probably wasn't my thinnest. I might have been 135, something like that. I'm 5'6" for the record, almost 5'7". And I quickly gained about 40 pounds. And, I've stayed on a vegan diet for that time, regardless. And in 4 years, with my weight typically being between 160 and 170 or more, it was incredibly frustrating, especially, and I'll get into this more another time, but as someone with, a history with weight and weight loss and weight gain, the weight gain was difficult for me. It was a lot. And so I was trying to figure out recently, okay, why the heck am I honestly the healthiest eater I know personally, because I don't have a big circle of other vegan friends, or, there's an internet community, but people I know personally, everyone in my family typically eats a standard American diet, or, they certainly aren't vegan. I definitely ate the healthiest of anyone that I knew personally, and I wondered, well, then why am I the biggest person that I know? For example, other family members I have eat a steady diet of drive-through and soda, and they are half my size, very frustrating when I exclude anything that could be considered unnatural. And yet I'm the size I am. I finally got really sick of it, especially once I had the baby. When I was pregnant, I really didn't gain that much weight. I got pregnant around 164, 165, something like that. And I didn't gain any weight really until like my 3rd trimester. I was still able to fit into my regular clothes and everything. And around the 3rd trimester, I put on a lot of water weight and things like that. But it was about 31 pounds, something like that. and I went up to 199.6 the day I was in labor, like right at that mark. The weight fell off immediately after she was born. I think I lost almost, 20 pounds immediately. I remember being 171 when my weight just came off. I was pretty much eating fruit, I remember having some like sweet potato and butternut squash after she was born. But then, I was returning to my regular way of eating, and I got busy and things like that. My weight went right back up. At about 188, I was like, for real? I can't do this. So, I just got so sick of being my size. So I say that to say this wasn't simply postpartum weight. Yes, I'm breastfeeding. No, it's all lies that you automatically lose weight while you're breastfeeding. No. If you do, that's fantastic. My body doesn't. My body seems to want to do everything it can to not lose weight. And so that's what I wanted to try to figure out. I wanted to know, is this a thyroid issue? Do I need to see a doctor? Is this a food allergy of some kind? Is it a toxicity? Is it, why am I this weight? Some things that I realize now in retrospect that I was doing wrong before are, when I first jumped into the raw vegan diet, for one, I didn't read the book. And I realize when it comes to baby-led weaning, I get a little bit agitated when I see these Facebook groups and people join the Facebook group and they only take their advice from other people in the Facebook group who also didn't read the book. And there's so much misinformation. And I'm often saying in my group, read the book. I swear, it's a fast read. Sorry about the piano. It'll answer any questions that you have. It's the actual information from the author. And you won't regret reading it. It'll answer every question. Just read the book. And I realized I did not do the same thing when it came to the 80-10-10 diet. I have the book, and I am part of the Facebook groups, and I realized that I didn't read the book. I've started it a bunch of times, and time just gets away from me. And I'm still working on it. I still have to finish reading it. But that is definitely, I think, the biggest thing is like baby-led weaning issues, I thought I knew what it was, what the diet was, just from videos or my groups or my general information. Wrong. I wasn't even following, number 2 problem, I wasn't even following the actual guideline of 80% carbohydrates, 80% of your calories from protein, 80% from fats. I wasn't doing that really. I was more following the guideline of what new people see on YouTube being pile it in. Eat all the calories, eat all day long, eat past satiation, realistically, that brings me to number 4 thing I was doing wrong is calories are calories. I was eating too much. And I wondered, why am I gaining weight? Why am I losing? And you just can't, it's good to have gurus online, but you just can't say, oh, I like the look of this one. I don't need to know anything else but what they're saying, because that can lead you astray. Get lots of information, all the information. And I follow dozens of YouTubers. I mean, tons of YouTubers, all the YouTubers. And I was still wrong. Because a lot of them had the same message, that's true. But it wasn't a message that worked for me. And I didn't realize that until 4 years later. I was sticking to my guns. No, this is the way it's supposed to work. No, the weight will come off eventually. Honey, it did not. I am here to tell you 4 years later, that weight wanted to do what it wanted to do. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. And piling in calories is still piling in calories, whether it's pizza calories or spinach calories. And I'm not saying that, one food clearly is worse for you than another. And one food won't cause the same kind of inflammation, won't cause the same nutritional deficiencies and causing hunger. I agree. But there is still such a thing as overeating, no matter what you're eating. And so this is what I was doing wrong as my fourth thing. Fifth thing is, because I was not doing my proper ratios, I swore I wasn't eating too much nuts and seeds because, I wasn't making like pecan pie crust, like crust from pecans. I wasn't sprinkling hemp seeds on all my salads. But as snacks, I would grab a handful of cashews here or there. I would add a few, I would add chia seeds to my smoothies. I would, sorry, I'm trying to multitask here, can you tell? I would, make a lot of cashew cream sauces, I think was the big thing. And I wasn't taking that into account that it still counts. My dressing would have mostly, cashews or sunflower seeds or whatever. That still counts big time, especially when you're blending up a half a cup of cashew or of anything else. And so, don't walk away. Come here. Good girl. Aw, come here. Come here. She was going to make a travel trip down the hall, so. Come on. Good job. Okay. Here we go. Say hi. Hi. Anyway, my fats were all off, especially when I would eat avocado in all my salads and things like that. So, was that 5? Yeah. Okay. Sixth thing was all the YouTubers all make these massive smoothies and juices, and that's great, but I do not have that metabolism. It contributed to eating too many calories for me. And me personally, I don't feel full when I drink smoothies or juices. I don't. It feels like empty calories to me. It's not empty calories because it has such a high nutritional value. However, I am very choosy now about when I'll have a smoothie or a juice. I don't think I've made any smoothies since rebooting my diet. I have had juices purely for the reason of getting in the amount of greens that I should have been eating before. And I have a hard time a little bit with spinaches and kales and lettuces and things like that. I like salad, but salad dressing was a hard thing for me to find raw vegan that I liked. I tried, the mango and red bell pepper, and that's why I always went for the nut sauces, the cashew cream sauces, and that kind of thing. Pardon my cough. So, I was making 2-3 smoothies a day with all the bananas and all the, I even added in some nuts into them. I added nuts and seeds into those and spirulina and all that's great, and I thought I was doing the right thing. But now I've done simple, okay, I need to juice half a pound of spinach and I'll add 3 oranges to that so it's drinkable for me. I was doing what I thought I should be doing, and I wasn't doing what works for me. And I think that is so important to do what is sustainable for you on your given diet. Not what someone else is doing, not what someone else recommends, but what keeps you eating the best way possible and feeling the best way possible. And, what are those choices that keep you from running to a drive-through or getting takeout, or just saying, forget it, get something from the freezer aisle or whatever, So, to make this video not super, super long, some things I am doing differently now. I went on a temporary research finding diet where I tried to do everything because I thought, okay, this isn't working for me. I think they call it the pagan diet, where it's eating vegan, but you're applying paleo principles to it. Meaning, no grain, no soy, which was a big part of a vegan diet, even when I'd have cooked vegan, because I went off raw after, I don't know, a year maybe, because of all the weight. I went to cooked vegan, and it was much, much easier. I was finding it so unaffordable, and my husband obviously wasn't eating that way, so it made it very difficult and time-consuming and expensive, which is now getting better for me as well. All this time, I still believed it was the most beneficial diet, the best way to be eating, but I wasn't making it work. It didn't work for me. So, I lost my train of thought here. Multitasking mama. Can't keep her thoughts straight. Okay, so I applied the paleo principles to the vegan diet. High protein, high protein, no soy, no grain. What I noticed immediately was the correlation of grain. Every time I ate grain, which was a huge part of my cooked vegan diet, rice, corn, all kinds of things, grain and gluten, how it correlates, I would be up in my weight the next day. And I noticed that immediately. So, by cutting out grain alone, and I did read Dr. Douglas Graham's book, Grain Damage, a few months prior to this, and it's sort of what set my mind in motion of trying to cut out grain, especially because I have another family member who has a gluten intolerance and inflammatory autoimmune diseases. So, by cutting out grain, I immediately lost 25 pounds. Right? And I thought, all this time, and by immediately, I mean within 2 months. There was one night even when we were going out to dinner, and I had ordered just a vegetable sushi roll, because that was what you can have when you're out to eat. And it had rice, of course. And the next day I was up like 2 pounds. And I know a lot of that's water weight and salt and, all that. But that's my point. You know what I mean? Is that it showed immediately that grains are part of my problem hugely. So, I had lost already almost 10 inches off my midsection. many inches off my thighs. And I had never cut out grains before. I wondered also if maybe it was high protein. And now I have lowered that and have continued to lose weight. So now I'm coming back around to 80-10-10 now that I have realized, trying to hammer out, okay, what did I do wrong the first time? And like I said, a huge part of that is not reading the book. You can't know what you're doing wrong if you don't know what you're supposed to do right. So, that being said, my ratios have been more accurate, more to the actual 80-10-10 specifics, and my weight has continued to go down. And I'd say I've done this about a week now, where I've been more hammered onto raw, high raw, and 80-10-10 specifically. And by actually aiming for that specific ratio, not consuming any grains, not making smoothies, having a reasonable amount of calories for my body, and that's going to be different for everybody, so there's no point in me saying what your amount of calories should be. And if someone tells you how many calories you should be eating in a day, beware. You have a sweet spot, and so only you can find it. I've greatly reduced my consumption of nuts and seeds. All of those things. By keeping an eye on those specifics. And by the way, paleo recommends that you not eat a significant amount of fruit. It was like 45 grams of fruit sugar a day. And by paleo, I mean pagan. You know, that doesn't work for if you're vegan, not eating fruit. And it definitely doesn't work if you are a raw vegan. But, you know, I was trying to lower my fruit consumption, and I thought this goes against everything that Dr. Graham teaches. And it really bothered me, but I did it anyway. And at the end of the day, I was thinking maybe it is the fruit, because I'm losing weight, you know, all of a sudden, and I haven't lost weight in years. And now fruit is the bulk of my diet, and my weight, with all those changes, continuing to eat fruit, continuing to eat raw, has gone down another 5 pounds this week. And I am encouraged finally that I think I have hammered out some of the issues that I had being on a raw vegan diet before, and even just being on a cooked vegan diet, because the weight gain happened either way. I gained weight being vegan, and I gained even more weight going raw. And I thought, my metabolism is just screwed up. I'm not meant to be a healthy weight for my body. So, now I know that's wrong. My body wants to be healthy, but I need to give it what it needs to get there. So, Grain Damage is a helpful, super quick read if you want to read it. And I don't know anything about, I think it's called Grain Belly? Wheat Belly. I've heard great things about that book. I don't know the principles he teaches, but I know it is anti-grain. So, you know, if you're looking into that as being a possibility, but coming from the girl who hasn't lost weight in years to finally, that, and let's be honest, I didn't exercise. I hate exercise. I hate it. You know, I like some gentle yoga. I like some walks. I am not, as much as I've tried to be, a person who does Insanity or P90X. Not saying I don't have the DVDs, because I do, but they're sitting dusty. I don't like exercise, and I really want to change that about myself. I really do. It's half the year is cold here where I live, and you know, I've had gym memberships for years that was just pouring money into an empty vat because I didn't go. Hi. You know, but I'm really working on that about myself, and I think adding in some exercise has really helped. My goodness. Hard to get good help around here. So, my daughter has always eaten raw and primarily vegan, has always eaten vegan and primarily raw. So this is no difference for her. But I know I have to live in alignment with what I teach her to be true. I believe that eating 80-10-10 and eating raw vegan is the healthiest for our bodies. And everybody is different. If you can't sustain it, then eat a cooked vegan diet. Eat what's right for you. But eat in alignment with your ethics, with your truth, with what you want for your children. This girl will eat anything. She likes spinach juice, and she likes spinach, and she likes mushrooms are her favorite, and clementines, and, all the fruit, and pretty much all the vegetables except cucumber she hasn't warmed to. She'll eat anything, and that's what I want for her. And I have to practice what I preach. If I believe these things, if I want her to grow and live these things until she might choose otherwise, I have to live in alignment with my values and the values that I am practicing and preaching for her. So, I have been able to also make the raw diet and eating 2 different ways in this house more affordable for us, and that might be for another video. In fact, I spent the least amount of money that I've spent in a long time this week on groceries. And, I might do those tips later if somebody asks. In the meantime, it's gotten easier. And I should throw in, and I don't know that this necessarily had something to do with weight gain, but it did have to do with my frustration and the expense. I was making, when I first started raw, I was making all the fancy meals that I saw. Oh my goodness. Salt lamp down. She's crabby today, don't mind her. I was making all the raw vegan lasagna and Alfredos and oh goodness. I wanted, and you need that transition food when you're starting, don't get me wrong. But all those different ingredients contributed hugely to my cost, to my frustration, to my time level. It's not necessary. Now, I don't really make recipes when it comes to raw eating much. I'll do something fancy once in a while just for some fun and giving her something meal-like. But typically, on a typical day, I don't make a recipe. I eat the pear or the banana or a mono meal of oranges, or, I'll just have whatever in its raw, pure form, which I still believe is the healthiest way to eat it, most optimal for your digestion, and most affordable. If you skip the recipes and all the bajillion ingredients and just eat the food in its whole pure form, not broken down into a smoothie or a juice, unless you need that for medicinal purposes like Gerson therapy, or say you have a flu or whatever. As a general rule, I'm saying, eat the whole salad, just eat the salad. Eat the carrot, with salsa or guacamole or whatever. Eat the pear and eat the grapes and, just get a bag of grapes and call it lunch. You know what I mean? And really, that means your lunch, say, was $2 for a bag of grapes or whatever. I don't know what it is where you live, but, something like that here. It's about $1.98 for a pound of grapes in early spring right now. So if you eat a pound of grapes for, breakfast or lunch or whatever, really, it's $2 for your lunch. Your drive-through at McDonald's is going to cost more. And, before I would have bought a recipe where it was, grapes and, pear and, kiwi and whatever, and it would be a bajillion ingredients for one lunch. And it did not work for my budget, for my patience level, and for my lifestyle, because I have a husband that isn't going to eat raw. So those are my current tips of why, back to the piano, of why I gained so much weight. In conclusion, I really cut my losses about 189-ish, to where my weight was going back up, back up, back up. And I never got to where I was starving when I was pregnant or breastfeeding and any of those things. And I could not figure out why it was going back up. So I knew I needed to do something. So at about 189, I called it quits. And that was a few months ago. I did some experimentation, and now that I'm on a path where I'm consistently losing weight, and I think I found some common denominators, eating too much, grains especially, too many nuts and seeds, things like that. My weight has gone steadily back down over the last 4 months, I think. 4 months, yeah. Something like that, about 4 months. And I am now today 159. That's 30 pounds. So, I have some goals in place. I'm still not a healthy weight for my body frame. I'm still, for my height, I could stand to lose another good chunk. So I just wanted to put this out there as I am losing, so I could show you progress. I've taken pictures, I've taken measurements, and as I go, and then I can share that this is what made me successful personally on the 80-10-10 raw vegan diet. Because there's so much other information out there, and it's easy to get lost in eat your 8,721 bananas a day. That was snarky. Sorry. No, but seriously, eat something that in all reality might make you want to throw up before you do it. Me, I could never eat 30 bananas in a day. That just would make me ill. And I'm really going for more low glycemic fruits. Watery, hydrating fruits in the morning, like watermelon. More dense, satiating fruits at lunch. And adding in my greens and any fats at dinner time. But in reasonable amounts, and not hordes and monstrous mountains of piles of banana peels. So, I'm feeling better. I am. My frame is a little less weighted down by 30 pounds to be exact, and several inches. And I had tried, when I was eating pagan, to try high fat. And that was something I was a little confused about. Is fat really that bad? And to be fair, I give her more fats because she's growing, and I don't have her on 80-10-10 by any means. I just feed her primarily raw and always vegan food. In amounts of when she wants to start eating and when she wants to stop. I let her body tell me what she needs. And I do not monitor her fat intake or anything like that. So, that being said, that's just for me as an adult, a grown adult that doesn't need so much, so much high fat. So, that being said, when I was doing a higher fat, oh my goodness, my face, which had been clearer since starting a vegan diet 4 years ago, it had really cleared up. And at the beginning, when I was doing high fat and high protein, I broke out. Those fats were, the overt fats were just, especially in here and in through here and here. I just knew immediately it was the fats, because my face immediately went greasier than it had been, and I don't even know how long. And now that I've cut my fats way down to 10% or less, I've cleared up again. I got a little bit going on here, but and this is from someone who naturally has always had acne. When I was younger, it was due to I was on birth control for acne, which is ironic. I had acne, and my siblings had it very bad, and I was slightly less in a bad way when it comes to acne than them, but it was still very bad. I have pictures I can show. But, I used the Panoxyl and the Clearasil and the Proactiv, and I went on birth control at, I think, 17 years old to clear up all that acne, and it gave me the worst hormonal acne. Oh my goodness. In some ways it cleared up, but it was always just frequent with my cycles that it would just come back. It was not a good solution. And honestly, I think once I came to the raw vegan lifestyle, I went off hormonal birth control pills. I realized how unhealthy that was, how dangerous it is, and my face cleared up, especially in conjunction with a healthier diet. But I do think it's what contributed to my, I don't know if I want to use the word infertility, but I didn't get pregnant for almost 3 years. And give or take, there were pauses in there where we, weren't actively trying to have a baby, but we pretty much just gave up after a while, thinking, I guess we're not going to have children, because, I was an otherwise healthy 20-something-year-old eating a healthy diet, and I was not getting pregnant. And honestly, I think I needed years to wean off of my hormonal birth control. I can talk more about that another time. But after several years of being off it, a couple of years, I, finally got pregnant with her when I was 27. 27? Yeah. And so now I am 28, and she is a 10.5-month-old baby girl, vegan baby girl. And now I have these new outlooks and new rules for myself and things. I don't have the huge ups and downs I did either. I was worried that was just about fruit. All around things are better. And this video turned out way longer than I wanted it to, but I hope it helps someone that's just following other YouTubers and trying to pile it all in and feeling overweight, broke, and frustrated. And hopefully this helps. I don't know if it will, but I'm crossing my fingers that maybe it helps at least one, because it's helping me too. And I will continue to update and do some recipes and some weight loss updates, and we're gonna try and get some exercise in. No promises, but we're trying. We got a baby bike seat and a baby bike helmet coming in the mail today, and I got a bike, and we got a baby carrier for a hike tomorrow, and sometimes we do baby and mommy yoga. We're trying. But anyway, thank you for watching this. If you watched it all the way through, all 40 minutes of it, I really hope it helps, and I'm sure it will not resonate with some of you, because some of you will be able to lose weight by piling in all the bananas and all the nuts and seeds and will have no adverse side effects. And that's fantastic if your body is functioning at such a high level that you can process all those things and be the weight you want to be and be at optimum health for yourself. But for me, that wasn't true. And I'm guessing at least for one more person out there in the world, it is also not true. So hopefully it helps that one person, just like it's helping me. So just wanted to share my findings and my current goals. And I have 4 pounds until my next goal weight, at which point we're going to do some fun things, which I'm going to share. And in July is her first birthday, so I'm going to be sharing her first birthday vegan party food. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a raw watermelon cake, all kinds of good stuff. So if you're interested in any of those things, I share tips about minimalism and natural health and raw veganism and regular veganism, if you will, and natural baby, things like that. So if you're interested in any of those things, please hit the little bell, the subscribe button. I'd love for you to follow my channel. And again, you can also find me at the Facebook page Rewild Your Life, or for baby food recipes at Plant-Based Baby Grain, Oil, and Animal Product Free Recipes. Those are my 2 Facebook pages. You can find all the good stuff there, and again at my YouTube channel and my blog, Crunchy Catherine. It is at naturalgoodnesssite.wordpress.com. So I hope you subscribe. I hope you liked this. Thank you for listening. It is appreciated. Mwah.